Well, hello and welcome to this Thursday's stroke Friday's MBE movie news. I say stroke Friday because it's already into the small hours of Friday morning, as I do this show thanks to OBS and its shitty hardware. Technical issues galore tonight, guys, so I'm going to shorten the show. It's not going to be 6 topics but 4 topics, and I'm not going to hang around. I'm going to get right into it. The first topic's all about Rian Johnson's Knives Out. Not Knives Out, the first one with Benoit Blanc, but Knives Out 2 and 3 with presumably Benoit Blanc starring again. That's certainly what they're saying over in Screen Rant. Why am I talking about this? Well, Netflix have purchased the rights, the publishing rights to the Rian Johnson sequels for a mere $450 million. Monumental news. I've screwed it up. I have not put the capture of my camera on, but here I am now, one click and I'm here. Some would prefer me not to be here, but I'm here nonetheless. It's coming in from Screen Rant, it's coming in from multiple sources. As I did say, Netflix have purchased the rights to publish Knives Out 2 and 3, the continuing adventures of Benoit Blanc, the continuing whodunit theme for the little bald-headed guy that is Rian Johnson. He's not bald, but he has got a little round head, and that was the affectionate term that Star Wars fans gave to him after the disaster that was The Last Jedi. For some thought it was hugely successful. We're not getting into Star Wars, we will touch upon it briefly and why it's not the be all and end all when it comes to Rian, and why this is probably a hugely positive move for the guy. As you can see here, sequels at Knives Out 2 and Knives Out 3 will release on Netflix after the streamer closed on a deal for the movies. Writer-director Rian Johnson's Knives Out originally released in 2019 starring Daniel Craig. We all know this as Benoit Blanc. We don't really care about that. We'll go right down to the bottom. The whodunit was a veritable hit at the box office, earning $311.4 million at the box office on a $40 million budget, and earned rave reviews from critics and moviegoers alike who hoped for more Blanc movies. As such, it came as a little surprise when Rian Johnson confirmed he was working on Knives Out. As a little surprise, I should say, on Knives Out 2. Not much is known about the sequel so far, though Johnson has said it will bring back Craig's Detective Blanc for an entirely new mystery, in the same vein as Agatha Christie's Hercule Poirot was the common thread in her stories. It's took a major step forward. There's the intro again, we don't want that. Major step forward for all involved. It's a great coup for Netflix to bring on board yet another high calibre Hollywood filmmaker. I say filmmaker, I was about to say director. He's not just a director. Rian is a screenwriter extraordinaire and a great filmmaker. Despite the criticisms of the Star Wars fanbase, he is a great independent filmmaker. You just have to look at his previous independent movies, Brick and Looper, I should say. I'm mixing the two together. And of course, Knives Out from a couple of years ago. He has got a 100% track record when it comes to independent movies. The Star Wars The Last Jedi debacle wasn't great for his reputation. Wasn't his fault either, though. He was forced into a corner with that thread, that story thread, if you like. J.J. Abrams being terrified of Luke Skywalker, he kind of threw the baby to him and let him hold it and get on with it. He was put in a corner. Very difficult position for him to be in. 40 years, 30 years of legacy. He didn't handle it well. I didn't actually mind Luke Skywalker in the movie, though. I have to say that was one of the gripes I didn't have with the movie. I thought he would be a different guy 40 years after the original trilogy. That was George Lucas not giving us a young Luke and filling in the gaps, if you like. But look, that aside, he's a great filmmaker. The Star Wars shit aside, this is a great move for him. He's going to have freedom. He's going to have a huge budget. I think they're giving him something like $80 million budgets on the two movies. So double what he got for the original movie. And I don't think the whodunit genre is one which needs huge budgets. You just need to bring in a stellar, star-studded cast like most of these whodunit movies have. And if the writing's there, and it will be with Rian, because we've seen that in the first movie, it was a beautiful whodunit, sort of subverted with expectations. He had, what was she called again? I'm blanking on her name. Ana de Armas stand out. We had Christopher Plummer in there. We had Michael Shannon, Toni Collette, Chris Evans. Stupendous cast. If you put all of those components together, you have got magic on your hands. You do not need $80 million, but he's getting it anyway. Netflix are giving him double the budget you had for the original. So we must hope that it will be double the goodness we're going to be receiving for this movie. I've got high hopes for this. I really enjoyed the first one. I thought Daniel Craig was superb as Benoit Blanc. He's got that sort of detective personality down. It was absolutely nailed on. He will bring brilliance, he will bring experience to these sequels. I'm very excited about it. It's a great move for Netflix, a great move for Rian Johnson, and I wish them both all the success in the world. Lots of people like to criticise these streaming services for throttling creative juices, for throttling the cinema going experience. They're killing film as we know it. This is an example where it's not necessarily the case. Sometimes they give creative freedom and they breed excellence. You've seen it with the likes of Alfonso Cuarón, the Coen brothers, Martin Scorsese, Paul Greengrass, and now we've got Rian Johnson. He is definitely in amongst that company. He's a great filmmaker. So look, huge news. It is a needed little boost in the arm for Netflix too, because they are on to a huge battle with the likes of Apple TV Plus, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, all chewing away at their heels, biting away at their heels if you like, piranha to blood. This is a massively competitive streaming battle we've got now. They need to be getting filmmakers like this in to keep them at the top of the game. And I think it will. I think it will keep them at the top of the game. But look, I am done speaking about that particular Netflix topic. I'm rattling right on to the second topic. Also starring Netflix as the star performer. And one Sam Raimi, another guy who I thoroughly enjoy as a filmmaker, as an overarching, all-seeing, all-hearing, omnipotent presence. And why do I say that? Well, because he is a producer on this horror movie. Every House is Haunted, coming from the Nun Helmer, and it's heading to Netflix again. As I said previously, they need a boost, a shot in the arm, a little boost during this streaming battle. Apple and Disney and Amazon are all nipping away at their heels. They are trying to maintain their position as the number one streaming service. Why and how they're doing it? They're putting together great TV shows, they're putting together great movies, and they're attracting in star-studded, top-tier talent. And you don't get any more top-tier than Sam Raimi, and he's going to be producing it. I have to say straight off the bat, I'm not particularly excited about Corin Hardy being connected to this movie. The Nun wasn't my favourite movie, I have to say. It was a bit of a disappointment. It resorted to cheap parlour tricks, sound, jump scares and things like that. It wasn't a great movie. The only bit that kind of made me unearthed a little bit was the Mother Superior neck crack moment, but it wasn't a great movie. It sort of just living vicariously off of the greatness of the Conjuring movies, and just a piss poor experience all in. So Corin Hardy directing this is a slight concern, but hopefully the core material, i.e. the script, is there, and it allows Corin to just do his thing, and he's not bogged down with absolute shit standard scripts, because that's what The Nun was. It was a shite script. But look, we have it here. Sam Raimi is producing yet another horror movie. Every House is Haunted, to be directed by Corin Hardy, the Nun Gangs of London. Deadline reveals this is another horror production set to release exclusively at Netflix. We know they have a good history with horror productions. The great Mike Flanagan done the House on Haunted House, The Haunting of Hill House, and he done that last one, which wasn't as good, but it was still good. He done the Gerard's Game, was it? The Stephen King adapted project. He's a great horror director. Hush, things like that. Doctor Sleep. So Netflix have that history with good horror content, and they're adding it with this, hopefully. As a streaming platform keeps expanding its original content catalogue, Raimi and Zainab Aziz will produce for Raimi Productions. Per Deadline, Every House is Haunted follows an insurance investigator as he tries to disprove a couple's death was caused, if I can speak, by a haunted house. His investigation leads him to witness strange events with his own eyes, as his beliefs are challenged by a psychic. Every House is Haunted is written by Jason Pagan and Andrew Deutschman, who previously worked together on Paranormal Activity, The Ghost I Mentioned. The script is based on a short story by Ian Rogers, The House on Ashley Avenue. Now, I'm not going to delve too much further into that article, but needless to say, it's a good core concept. It's going to have vibes of Paranormal Activity, the sort of found footage shit that we've seen to, I don't know, diminishing returns, some would say, and I would agree with them. I'm saying it. That doesn't have to hold this movie back, though. With Sam Raimi putting his name to it with his production team, I've got belief that it will have a degree of quality to it. and it'll be at least watchable if nothing else. And you put together the writers, the director, the producers, the actual streaming service Netflix, they all have a history with horror, so we can only hope it's better than The Nun. Again, it's a feather in the cap of Netflix. They have once again managed to attract some top tier talent in the producing side of things, and the directing, maybe average tier talent, but writers and stuff like that, they're bringing in original content, and my god, they need it. They can't keep relying on Friends and the same old shit to keep them ahead of Netflix, ahead of Disney, ahead of Amazon over the course of the next 4 or 5 years. They need original content, and this will certainly help them. And look, you just look at the Oscars, the award season, absolutely dominated by Netflix, so they must be doing something right. As I do say here, it's not the only thing that they've got coming in terms of actual interesting content. They've got Spike Lee producing I don't even know how to say that name, to Hulu movie. I think that was, I can't actually recall what series that's from. It's a famous series. I think we've got the DB Wise and your other man actually doing more of those movies based on that writer. I don't know what the writer is though. I don't really care about it. But they've got some interesting names coming to Netflix. That's what I'm getting at. Some interesting projects on the horizon. And I'm excited, man. I'm a Netflix subscriber. I love all the streaming services. They bring some different content to your eyeballs, and that's good. Diversity and choice is always good for the avid film consumer, the avid TV consumer. But look, I'm moving on avidly to the next topic. Godzilla vs. Kong. I'm speaking about it again. As you can see, it's open to its biggest pandemic era single day box office. Cum, that's the word they like to use when they speak about box office. This is coming in from CBR. I cannot get it to load on my iPad because the website is absolute pish on mobile. But as you can see, I'll bring it up here. It's confirmed here by CBR that it did indeed open to a big box office opening. I mean, what have I put down there? Opens big in the US and Canada. You have to be realistic with the era we're currently living in. Unprecedented era, pandemic era. Box office takings are not what they were a year and a half, 2 years ago. So with that in mind, you bring your expectations down a little bit. $9.6 million in the North American and Canadian markets is pretty decent. It's a pretty decent return on the back of that huge $120 million international cum over the first week of its release. This movie's doing very well. It's doing strongly. It seems to be word of mouth. It's really pushing people out of their houses during the pandemic to go and watch this movie. Sadly, at the moment, we still do not have theatres opened. I would be intrigued to find out when the hell we are getting theatres opened. I'm going to quickly search that up and see if Cineworld have any news on when they're opening up. They do not. There is no definitive date for Cineworld opening up here. Opening up in May. There you go. So we have to wait a whole month until we potentially get Godzilla vs. Kong in the theatres. I say potentially because by that point the momentum may be gone. Warner Brothers may not want to even release it over here in the theatres. I'd be very surprised if they don't know, because they'd been missing a huge opportunity. If you've watched England in the last day or so, you'll see that people just do not give a shit about this pandemic anymore. They're out drinking in the park. They will be more than happy to go to the theatre. I will be more than happy to go to the theatres. But this is great. This is a great performance for the movie. It's been vindicated by the sort of early critical response. People were praising this movie from multiple publications. It's a big Titanic epic story with these two historic cinematic creatures. And as I did say, it opened up very strongly in China, opened up very strongly in international markets, and now biggest COVID era box office opening. So I'm glad for this movie. I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to seeing it on the biggest screen possible. If I can get to an IMAX and watch it, I most certainly will in the next month or so. Until then, though, I will just sit back and sort of applaud how well it's doing at the box office throughout the world. We've got some comments on Twitch. I'm actually looking at my phone. Sadly, I've not got Streamlabs anymore. I'm using the traditional OBS, so I do apologise. I've missed you. I've been in my own little world talking one load of shit. My apologies if you're long gone, but Buck, the nerd is raiding with a party of 6. I do apologise, Buck, that's twice I've gave you an underwhelming response to a raid. The first time it didn't even come up. We have no widgets, nothing in the OBS relating to Twitch, so we don't get any notifications of raids. The first time, totally ignored you. I've ignored you again because it's on my phone. I thank you very much for the raid, my friend. Thank you very much. It's appreciated. Mike Porter, welcome back in again. Seen you a few times. I have seen you a few times, Mike, and I'm glad you're coming back. It gives a little bit of company when I'm doing this, because let's be honest, sometimes it's quite quiet. Some of the headlines I put out there, man, on YouTube, fucking barren, to say the least. Sometimes it's busy. That's life. A couple of comments. The pandy's what we call a pandemic. I just call it a shit show. I just want it over now. I want to get back to life as we know it. The sooner the better, really. I haven't been to a theatre to see it, but I watch it here on HBO Max. That's blasphemy, man, is it not? I can't watch that on a streaming service. It's set to, I think it's out on certain streaming services or premium VOD just now over here. I do not want to watch it on a streaming service. It's absolute blasphemy, man. I want to see it on a big screen. But I understand, if you want to see it, man, you don't want to risk your health, then by all means jump into a theatre and watch it. More the power to you. Sadly, I don't think we even get that option. I'd have to check up if it even is on a streaming service over here. But look, man, I'm moving on. Spoke about this way too long, man. It's a little filler topic. I'm going to speak about this, man, because I just love talking about SpiderMan No Way Home. It's my favourite up-and-coming movie in the current film calendar. And yeah, it's theories that have been coming out, rumours surrounding this movie. What's right and what's wrong, in a sense. I'm just going to give my little opinion to it. It's come from Cinema Blend. I don't agree with everything they've put out. Glad to be here to talk to you. Thank you very much, my friend. I do appreciate it. Very late here, incidentally. 20 past 12 a.m. We're already into the early hours of Friday morning. I do things late. I'm an absolute night owl. I'll be doing weight training after this, so I'm a screwball. But look, I digress, man. Let's get into this. It's rumours about No Way Home, SpiderMan No Way Home. As you can see, the first one, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield show up. That's not even a rumour, man. That is confirmed. It's not officially confirmed. They're saying here, possible, but not quite the way fans hope. I do agree with that. I don't think it will be the way fans hope. I think it will be minor roles, because although I want to see a Sinister Six movie with these guys having equal leading roles with Tom Holland, I just don't think it's going to happen. I think that they want to put Tom front and centre. This being a sort of coming to the age movie for him, we've seen him as the naive school kid for the last two movies. He has to grow up at some point. I think it'll be this movie. These two guys may be in some kind of smaller role, but it's been confirmed. It's not a rumour. Their two stunt doubles have been seen on the set. They are absolutely involved in this movie, but to what degree, we don't know. So I kind of agree and I disagree with that one. I do have a theatre here open in the southern United States in Georgia. You're in Georgia? Jesus Christ, I wish I was in Georgia. I'm in the west of Scotland and it is fucking cold. Not wet at the moment, thankfully. That's a small mercy, but very, very cold, man, for the time of year. It's like, I mean, it's 3 degrees or something. I don't even know what that is over in the States in Fahrenheit, but it's cold. Too cold, man. I wish I was in Georgia. That's where they shoot the Walking Dead, isn't it? Georgia. Supposed to be very humid and very warm. I wish I was there. I love the heat. But look, man, the next topic. Pandemic is the shit show it is. It's terrible, man. Terrible. It's just destroyed. I love to go and see football. You'd call it soccer over in the States. I've not been in a stadium for a year. Now, it's just horrendous, man. I usually go every 2 weeks. Shite. Terrible. At least the States has still got things open, man. I don't think they've got baseball opened or basketball, but the American football, NFL, some stadiums were half full, man. Absolutely nuts. So, I don't want to be, but I kind of do want to be in some way. I don't want the COVID, but I want to actually go and see sports again. Peter Parker's on the run in the movie. He will be on the run in the movie again. It's not a rumour. They seem to think it's solid. It is solid. It's called No Way Home. He can't go home. That basically means the whole story is about him being on the run. He can't go home. He's scared to go home. It's a fugitive kind of movie. So yeah, I agree with that. I agree with what they're saying about it. It is cold, man. I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you right now what the temperature is. Right, we'll get down to it, man. I'll try and convert it into Fahrenheit for you, because I know you use Fahrenheit. It's 1 degree Celsius. So what the hell is that in Fahrenheit? Double and add 30. 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Fucking freezing, man. Freezing. And I have to go out and walk my dog in it. Brutal. But look, it's all good. We're hardened. Us Scots, we know how to handle the cold. And I've got a big North Face jacket if I'm feeling it, so I can fire that on. Jake Gyllenhaal to return as Mysterio. I believe this one. I don't think he'll be back. He may be back in a sort of haunting flashback, or maybe as a sort of propaganda presence, for lack of a better word. I think he'll maybe pop up in posters or something like that. I don't think he's going to be back. There's been no word of Jake Gyllenhaal coming back to this movie. I don't even want him to come back to the movie, to be honest with you. He had his one and done. I was disappointed with the way they handled that character in Far From Home. I wanted him to be a big powerful force in the MCU for at least 3 movies. They made him a bit of a joke. He was this sort of weakling, disenfranchised guy that hated Tony Stark. He tried to weasel his way into the glasses. Just disappointing, man. So I don't really want that version back. And thankfully I don't think we'll get him back. I think Cinema Blend are talking shit on this one. Alfred Molina returns as Doc Ock. It's been confirmed. It's not a rumour. Get your shit together. Hollywood Reporter confirmed that. So Alfred's back and I'm happy about that. I'm happy. I love Alfred Molina. It was a great performance in Spider-Man 2, was it? My all-time favourite Spider-Man movie. I cannot wait to see what Alfred's bringing back as a sort of chubbier, softer Doc Ock, because he's a lot older now. Baseball's open at 30%, then 50%, then 100 by July. Who do you support in baseball? I'm a Red Sox man. I love the Boston teams. I love the Patriots. I know everyone hates the Patriots, but I've always liked the Patriots because they're the closest NFL team to the United Kingdom, and I can't support the Giants or any New York team for that matter. So I'm a Pats man. I'm a Celtics man. I'm a Celtic fan over here. Football, soccer. And I just love Boston. It's a great city. So Red Sox for me. So I've been glorifying in it. They've won a couple of World Series recently. Walking Dead is filmed a couple of hours away. Crazy. I've not seen The Walking Dead in about 3 years. I've not been keeping up with it. I kind of lost the plot when Negan. Was it Negan? Is that his name? Jeffrey Dean Morgan. When he came in, I kind of... when the young Stephen Yeun character gets head bashed in, I fell away from it. I get a bit shit, didn't it, really? And then Andrew Lincoln walked away completely, and that was it for me. I love Norman Reedus though, so I may go back at one point to see how he's getting on in it, but yeah, I've lost the plot with it. But I know they filmed in Georgia and it's apparently ridiculously humid, ridiculously sweaty, ridiculously warm. That's right up my street. I love walking about with shorts and t-shirt on. Sadly can't do it very often here though. I'm an Atlanta Braves fan. There you go. They're decent, aren't they? I'm pretty sure they're decent. They're not as good as the Red Sox, but they're decent. There's a couple of... I can't admit to being the biggest baseball fan on the planet. I do like the Red Sox and I kind of keep up with them. I've got relations, well not relations but friends of relations who are big and they go over and do the spring sort of season, what do you call it, spring pre-season thing. They go to Florida when they can and follow the Red Sox, so I'm well in with the Red Sox. I love them. Atlanta Braves though, Atlanta are okay. I mean, I don't mind Atlanta, that's where Donald Glover's from, so that's good enough for me. William Dafoe, just rattle through this, man. William Dafoe returns as Green Goblin. Apparently it's not confirmed. I thought it was. That's a shame. I love William with his mad grin. Don't really care though. I'm sure they can fit another character in for a Sinister Six movie. Jamie Foxx is back as Electro. Charlie Cox apparently not coming back as Daredevil according to Cinema Blend. I hope they're talking shit. Charlie deserves to be in an MCU movie. This guy's done his time at that shitty Netflix side of things. And look, that's not to say Daredevil was shit, because it was one of the best TV shows on the Netflix side of things, but he deserves a shot at the big time playing that character, even if it's just a lawyer version. If he doesn't suit up, if he maybe represents, I don't know, Peter Parker in the movie as a lawyer, just give him a fucking nod. Give him something, man. He deserves it. So I hope Cinema Blend are wrong about that. And Jamie Foxx coming back as Electro, I don't really care about that. It's kind of confirmed. He says the character won't be blue anymore. It was a shite character, wasn't it, in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, I think it was, with Garfield, so can't really do any worse than what they've done with that character in the other movie. So if he comes and it looks as though he is, then so be it. If it's part of a Sinister Six, all the merrier for me. I'm moving on to the final topic, man. It says at the start of the show I had issues with my mic. It was an absolute disaster. OBS, VSTs I've built in to make my voice sound a little bit better. Just cutting the mic off, so I was late starting the show. And sadly, that means I'm going to have to cut some topics off. But look, it ain't anything major. It's actually one topic. There you go. It's one topic. And it's about Space Jam. So who gives a shit? It looks okay. There's a little teaser came out. It looks decent. Give me nostalgic vibes from 1996, 7. When the great Michael Jeffrey Jordan, it wasn't Jeffrey, wasn't it? Michael Jeffrey Jordan. There you go. I'm speaking about American sports teams. I like the Celtics, but I also liked the Chicago Bulls in the 90s because I'm a Michael Jordan fan. He's the GOAT. Not LeBron. LeBron's just a shyster. He's a great player as well, man, but Michael Jordan's the best. I hope Defoe comes back. I do as well. I don't think he will, though. Don't think he will. I think he's a busy man. I want to see him playing the Joker in this Matt Reeves' Batman trilogy. That's what I want to see. If he's coming back to a superhero comic book movie, then let him play the Joker. Please, he's just tailor-made for it. He's already worked with Pattinson on The Lighthouse. It was dynamite. I agree, Charlie needs to be in the MCU. He does, doesn't he? He's like anyone that's watched those Netflix TV shows. Jessica Jones was okay when you had Tennant in it as whatever the hell he played, that mind control guy. Jessica, that was great. It went downhill. What was the other one? Iron Fist was terrible. The other one with the black guy, super strong guy, it was okay. Punisher was amazing, but Daredevil was the absolute standout. That was the one that deserved to have a continuation to its story. It didn't happen because obviously they lost the rights, and I think Marvel have now got the rights back, Disney. I want to see him in it. Defoe was an Aquaman, you're absolutely right. He played the sort of right-hand man to Patrick, blanking on his name, but the Patrick guy, not Wilson, the other one. Is it Patrick Wilson? Oh, it's very late. Yeah, I think it is Patrick Wilson. Is it Patrick Wilson? Maybe someone, do you know? Mike, can you save me there? Is it Patrick Wilson? Your man from The Conjuring. He played the right-hand man anyway. He had his hair glued to his head. He was great in that. He was great in that. I enjoyed him. I love William Dafoe. He's a great actor. A great presence. And if he pops back as Green Goblin, I'm not saying no to it. Let's be honest, I will not. But it's just, part of me just wants him to be the Joker for some reason. I don't know why. We've had so many Jokers in the last 20 years, 30 years. But I want it to happen. And in the Snyder Cut. You know what? I've still not seen the Snyder Cut. Lazy shit that I am. I've not found 4 hours in my life to watch it yet. I've seen bits of it. I've not seen the entire thing yet. So I'm yet to watch that. I'm going to have to dedicate this weekend to that. It's a long weekend for me, so I'm going to get into that and see how William has done in that. But I think that's more about Cyborg, isn't it? And the Flash, the Snyder Cut can maybe expanding out their roles a bit. And obviously Superman, he gets a better resurrection. The nightmare sequence, I'm looking forward to seeing the whole of that. I've seen bits and bobs. But look, man, this topic, I've been going off and just talking one load of shit for the last 5 minutes, man, or so. Laika Studios are doing a live action movie. Why have I put that in there? Well, I'm a huge fan of Laika Studios, man. The great stop motion animation studio. They've brought us the likes of Kubo and the Two Strings, some other truly stupendous animated movies. World famous and last of a dying breed when it comes to stop motion animation. A real creation of love and time and patience. You move these little handcrafted puppets, tiny little amounts to make them animate. I think it takes like an entire day to animate a 20-second scene or something like that, if not even longer. But they're now jumping into the live action sphere, and I don't know if that's something I like. I want them to continue making stop motion. We've got plenty of live action studios, and don't know if I want them to be doing this. It's coming in from Empire. Sorry about that. I got to listen. That's absolutely fine, man. We need to start doing that more. We're on Twitch and YouTube. When Stephen's here with me, it flows a little bit better. When I'm here, I'm an absolute shambles. I just try to drill through the topics and get off as quickly as possible. But when you're on Twitch, you've got people reading you, man. That's absolutely fine. You take the conversation off the beaten track. It's all good. I enjoy talking, so you don't apologise. Yeah, it's absolutely fine. And this is the last topic anyway, so you're keeping me away from talking about this, so that's not a bad thing, man. It's not the best topic, is it? News is dead just now, so when we're doing movie news shows, it's fucking brutal, to be frank. But there you go, man, it's up there. Laika has made an award-winning name for itself. We already spoke about this. Everyone knows about the live action or the stop motion stuff. They're doing live action. They're working with Travis Knight. It looks like, I think Travis Knight's the CEO of Laika. Is that the same Travis Knight that directed Bumblebee? It's a CEO of Laika. It can't be the same guy. Needless to say though, they're working on a live action movie, and you can see there it's 17. It's a stiff cocktail of wicked wit, exhilarating action, raw emotion. John has a wonderfully unique voice, blah blah blah, he's a brilliant universe, blah blah blah. We don't really care about this. It's a thriller with soul and a sinuous adrenaline filled action, with a sincere heart, beating under its rippling pictorials. What a lot of pish that quote was. Self-aggrandising, masturbatory pish. Needless to say, they're doing live action. It'll be very intriguing to see how they make that jump from stop motion to live action. They're famed for doing witty, great stories with heart and character in them, and if you can do that well on stop motion, I see no reason why that can't make the jump to live action. So it depends on who they're getting into directed. Did they actually say who's directing it in this? I don't think they did. Needless to say, they need to get a good director in, and it's going to be difficult for them to make any sort of moves in the live action sphere. They're renowned for being stop motion. Time will tell. Time will tell. I'm excited to see them try and make the jump. I'm part excited, part disappointed, because I want to see them continue making stop motion, but maybe for them to survive as a studio, they have to be a little bit more broader in what they're putting out, because it's a dying art, as I did say. But look, man, that's going to round the show up. I'm done. I'm not going to speak anymore because my voice is starting to go. I don't know how the likes of John Campero on YouTube do it for 3 hours. Well, they're getting fucking paid. That's how they do it. I suppose if you get $20 coming in every 20 minutes, every 2 minutes, that gets some strength into the voice, I do suppose. But wait, I'm done. If you've been here from the start, and Lord knows you deserve a medal if you have, maybe comment on some of the topics I spoke about. What do you think about Knives Out 2 and 3 getting bought up by Netflix? $450 million deal, $80 million budgets for the 2 movies. Is this a good thing, a bad thing for Rian Johnson, for Netflix? You can comment below if you've got anything to say. What else you make about Sam Raimi the Great producing a horror movie with Corin Hardy of The Nun fame for Netflix as well? Is this the kind of moves that Netflix need to make to remain relevant in a world that has even more streaming services than ever before? What do you make about Godzilla v Kong opening up strong over in the US and Canada? Finally, this SpiderMan No Way Home shit. Do you care about any of these rumours? Are you just getting into this movie and taking what you get? Do you even theorise, speculate over rumours? What's your thoughts on it? What do you make about Laika Studios going into the live action world, if you like? If you've got anything to say at all, you can comment down below. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel on YouTube, hit the follow button on Twitch if you want to continue seeing content like this, and you'll duly get it. But look guys, I'm done. Thanks for commenting again, Mike Porter. I will try and stay warm. I probably won't, but it's all good. I'm a Scot. I'll live with it. And until the next time guys, I'll bid you farewell. Bye bye. What is cold for Georgia though? 50 degrees. That's not cold. That's warm. Come on. Didn't even see your Atlanta United comment. Well done. Bye bye.